I normally do pads first. I normally do them in a 30. This is a 15 blade because my 30 is wanting to make them bleed. So we're going to use a 15. And I just come in, and I usually use a vacuum as well, but just come in and clean out the pad. Really good. And while I'm here, since we're going to be shaving feet, I go ahead and shave up the back side of this pad just a little bit here. And I go ahead and come, since I'm here. There's one. Pull your toes forward a little bit so it helps you get in there a little better. You don't really want to come down to center like this because they have a tendon right here that the blade tends to cut it sometimes. It's not really cut, it's just like it takes it too short. And you can spread them here and go that way. Hold the hair out of the way. And you don't want to clip up but maybe a ½ inch right there. Do both sides. You want to keep check on your blade, make sure it's not getting hot. If you can touch it here, it's not going to burn the dog. If it doesn't burn you. Same thing, you can throw the 2 toes away. And I'm not touching her there, I'm just... If you do a shorter blade, it tends to cut it, but a 15 is not too bad. You can do this side, or other side from here too. It's a lot easier to see. You can do it from the other side too, but I find this is easier for me since I'm already over here. And I always do it in the order you just saw me do, which is the back foot. Some people do the back left, front left, back right, front right. You want to tend to have an order of things, makes the grooming go a little faster, and you don't tend to forget things unless you get interrupted. That's her feet, her pads rather. We're going to do her sanitary now. I'm going to do a 10 on her. She's a light colored dog. When you do a light colored dog and a shorter blade, sometimes they'll get irritated, and on your clippers, well, it's not really a heat or anything, it's just that it's a short, and it's been a while since she's been done, so we want to go ahead, we don't want her to get irritated. So we're going to do her sanitary. You don't want to touch the actual anus part with your clippers because it will make, it's really thin skin, and it can make them bleed. It doesn't really cut them, it just takes too much, their skin's really thin there, so just be careful there. Some dogs want to pooch out their little butt. She doesn't, she's just barely tucking it, just a little bit. If your dog wants to keep sitting down, just keep the tail in your hand. I'm not pulling up hard. Some dogs don't care for their tail to be messed with or their butt to be messed with, but just if she wants to sit down, you would just keep standing her up. Don't get onto her, just keep, if she sits, just keep standing her up. She'll get it, and you can touch. See, I'm touching and she's relaxed. And here she's wanting to, it's a little bit, but not much. She's pretty used to this. On the sanitary, you pull the tail to the side and lift up here. And you don't want to do a whole lot back here because it's going to show whenever you clip the body. So if you do it too short back here and too far down the leg, it looks really funny. And you'll be able to see it a little bit better later when we get all the other hair off. But I tend to do these parts first. And then come all the way up under the belly. I usually go up the inside of the leg a little bit, up into that, way up in here in this flank area. You can't get both sides from one side, unfortunately. Got to move to the other side. Same thing on this side. Come to the inside of that leg. And I come up to about 2 inches, like where their belly button would be, right in here. I come up to about there. It gives them a nice tuck up whenever you finish. If you come up too far, it looks really funny. And it's just, I mean, some people want to do that for if they keep a fuller coat on their dog and it keeps it less messy on boy dogs. You can shave a little bit farther up. You can actually shell them out all the way to the elbows for boys that like to pee on their elbows and pee up here. But girls tend to keep it about 2 inches past the back leg. I think I got everything under here as much as I want. And don't come out too far. Because if you come up, when that leg's lifted up, you'll have a big naked spot right here. I have done that before. Now, did pads, sanitary, and then I usually do nails next. My routine is pads, nails, sanitary, base, feet, tail, and then I roughen the body, and then scissor the body. On nails, you want to keep the hair off the table, because this will grab hair very quickly. I use a corded Dremel. Let me grab my cordless Dremel because that's what I suggest that most people use when they're first starting out. This is a 7.2 volt from Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever. But it has a high setting and a low setting, and it's light, and if hair catches in it, it will stop. That one will not stop. So when you're dremeling a toenail, if you have hair on the foot, you might want to roughen your dog. If your dog is that hairy, you want to rough them in to get the majority of the hair away. Because if you do this when it's running, if it's in there, it's going to catch it and it's going to hurt. And this one will stop, like I said. The other one won't. I don't know if you can hear me when I'm dremeling. When you're dremeling, you want to rest. You don't want to do it like this. If you do it like this, this is going to hit this toenail and bounce around, and you can't control your Dremel. Keep your dog, the head looped up. If you don't have a table, a grooming table like this, a grooming arm or a grooming loop, buy them. It will help you immensely. And if you're trying to do it at home, you're saving money on your groomers already. And usually your standard poodles grooms run anywhere from 60 to 125. There's your table right there. Usually when someone's trying a standard poodle, they've already know some of their basics, but this is just to help you. Like you know how to bathe them, to dry them, and brush them out. But a loop is very important. It keeps their head away from your clippers. It keeps the head away from your Dremel, and it keeps them safely on the table. Don't walk away from your dog when they're on the table, you expect them to behave. You make them to behave with it on the grooming table. They'll learn, and they know what's expected of them. So, dremeling, rest your fingers that you're holding it with, and come from this way. And don't tap it all the time, because then they want to jerk. But if hers aren't real long back here, but I tend to like to come on one side, and the other side, and then go around it. And it makes it very smooth. I'll show you on her front ones, they're a little bit longer, how to shorten a dog that has long toenails. If she has long toenails up here, she runs a lot here. If she wants to sniff it, I usually let them sniff it from a distance, because they can definitely sniff it. And they're always going to want to sniff it. You know, dogs, they want to sniff everything. I let them sniff it from a distance, or I turn it off, let them sniff it. Usually when you do let them sniff it, that's when they kind of panic. I don't know why, but if they want to sniff it, they want to panic, and you just, stop. You're fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take this nail as short as I can. Then I'll show you how to shorten them if they're extra long. But I come on one side to where you want. You can see on hers where the blood is. They're pretty clear. And then I take the other side. Stop. She's wanting to pull just a little. It tickles. It doesn't hurt her. But you can see I'm about as close as you can get. If you've got black toenails, there's a little tissue in here that you can see when you're doing black toenails. And you want to stop at that tissue, because if you go too much farther, stop. It'll bleed. Now, if you want this dog's toenails, say her toenails are a little bit farther, they're not bad. They're okay. They're a little bit long, quick. If you want them to be a shorter quick, you can take every week, you can take the top of this toenail down. And what you'll do is you'll come across the top, not a lot, just a little bit. Even if you take it to the quick every week, it will not shorten the dog's quicks. I've had people tell me it does, but I know better. I've tried it for 10 years. Just take it over the top. Take it over the top, and you can see it's a little soft right there, and that's where the blood and the tendon, you know, and all that is. That if you go any farther, it'll quick. I have found that when you Dremel the top of this nail, and they're walking around for the next week, that is not wanting to be that close to concrete and grass and carpet and flooring, and it will recede. It will pull back within a week. And in a week, I can come back and take this part off and do the top again. And then, I don't want to do it on high. I don't want to take too much off. It's just rounding the corners. So that, I mean, you can take it a little farther back too, but you don't want to go down too far. It doesn't take much off the top. But that is a great way to shorten the quicks of a toenail. So let's finish up our nails. There's that tendon, that tissue. If she had dew claws, the way I get to them is I hold this foot like this, and her dew claw would be right here, and you hold everything away and push that dew claw out, and you do it from there. That's how I would do that dew claw. This dew claw, if she had one, you would push all the hair back. Her dew claw would be right here. You would push it back here, and you can, if she had longer hair, you could push it all back and then push that toe up there and do it this way. That's how I do dew claws. Unfortunately, she doesn't have one. No, fortunately, she doesn't have one. I am putting pressure, but not a ton of pressure, because if you have a good sandpaper, you don't need a lot of pressure. If you have brand new sandpaper, which this is not brand new sandpaper, it can take some skin off your hand. If you touch their pad, it will bleed. It will grind off skin better than it will grind off nails. So just be careful. I have done my own fingernails. I have little divots in my fingernails, and I've had skin missing from time to time. She doesn't have much off here. Just round it off. You can touch them. Okay, that's turning.